Everyone is guilty of sitting down after an episode of a show or a movie where you start going, hang on, how does this work? Why didn't they do this? No way would this happen in real life. Those confusing bits of the universe that don't make much sense. I thought it would be fun to poke at all the nonsensical things in the Power Rangers universe. Take this video very lightly, it's all for fun. Some of these things are a part of suspension of disbelief and wouldn't be allowed for the series to exist if these were followed more realistically. If you have a suggestion on a top 10 you'd like me to do, leave a comment down below. I might pick it one day.
The Worf Games.
The coolest part of a Ranger's ability. Everyone enjoys this moment, watching a Ranger morph as explosions around them go off, but it's one of the dumbest things. Besides acting as a safety function, which Time Force Day bypassed, what is the purpose of the morph dance? You're being attacked, so you have to do all these weird things in order to get your suit on. You're open to weapons fire. Some of the seasons require you to stand up, so you can't do it behind cover. Jungle Fury is one of them. And some morphers require perfect hand gestures. If I was being shot at by 20 monsters and I had the Xenizers, I'm gonna be dead 30 times over before I get these two pieces to line up. The worst mistake is they even show that the dance and voice call aren't even needed. So it is possible to use the morpher and go right into the fight. It's just a total waste of time. More monsters need to shoot at them when they get ready to dance, and morphers need to have less components. The Astro Morpher being one of the best, Xenizer one of the worst.
Technology level.
Earth's tech in general is all over the place. There's constant problems with how much Earth can build themselves or accept as normal. MMPR through in space is pretty consistent, tied to the current year of the season. Anything fancy would be from Zordon's help. But once Lost Galaxy started up, that's when this goes out the door. Fans always use the explanation for TerraVenture, they use leftover stuff from Astronomer's ship. I'm totally fine with that, but you have to keep using this tech. Lightspeed was created from a military, very advanced, being on par with Ninja/Zordon's Rangers. Lightspeed also created those crummy robot Rangers. That links up, but then you have the Silver Guardians team in Time Force. They're pretty standard. You'd think thanks to TerraVenture we'd have more common laser weapons. We still don't see an improvement even with them scanning Eric's suit. Nothing gained from the year 3000 at all? Next we have Dino Thunder's Biozords. Mercer was able to create bioorganic copies of dinosaurs. We even saw a large-sized robotic T-Rex guarding his place. Now you start wondering, why isn't this more commonplace? Mystic Force levels things off again. Then we have Overdrive. Rich Guy seems to be hoarding genetic engineering. We don't see that go past the season. RPM is in an alternate dimension, so that gets a pass. But we come back to Ninja Steel with hoverboards no one cares about. Sarah's making stuff that fits into SBD's future. Robotic clones that would give her Nobel Peace Prize. A cookie maker that can run on anything. We keep getting this seesaw problem of tech. One minute we have spaceships, next we're back to Windows Vista. I wish things would fit in better, but the seasons are intended to work by themselves. Writers don't have to deal with XYZ. You can't blame them, but I wish there would be more proper progression or justifications.
Secret identities.
There's two purposes for heroes to have secret identities. One, protect yourself. You don't want to deal with society singling you out as a freak or blame all the problems in the world on you like the Fantastic Four deal with. The second and most common one is to protect loved ones. You may not care about yourself. Maybe you're invincible, so you don't have to look over your shoulders, but your family and friends don't have that luxury. They would be targeted either from harassment or be used for kidnappings and flat-out revenge. Spider-Man deals with this all the time. Power Rangers falls in number 2, but it really doesn't change anything. Rangers, while they keep the secret from their families, the villains know who they are. So what's not telling your mom gonna do? The villains know. They know your name, where you live. They can easily get them to use against you, except for certain cases like Return of an Old Friend. It never happens. Rita and Zed are the worst offenders in this area. They can spy on the Rangers everywhere. No one is safe. Why aren't Principal Kaplan and Miss Appleby dead? Why isn't Zach's cousin or Richie, who like Trini, dead? I would like if one season had the Rangers keep their identities a secret from the monsters as well, like never say their names or not really show their faces.
Military first, Rangers.
The world loves the Power Rangers. They save the day all the time, but they're just like Batman. They're vigilantes. With exceptions like Lightspeed Rescue and SPD, they're not sanctioned by any organization. But no one ever gives them problems. They should be targeted by the cops. People should be blaming them for property damage, for deaths, especially when the Rangers deal with evil clones and stuff. That always gets overlooked. Remember Green with Evil? We know what was going on, but if I saw the fights out of context as a civilian, I would think this was all a setup. The Rangers could have created everything, the villains themselves. It could be a huge scam. I wouldn't know what to believe. I really wanted this to be an arc in one of the seasons. It could be gritty, but it's something the series hasn't done. Militaries could even be the cause of villains winning. They figure out their base, destroy it, and the Rangers are totally screwed. Of course, the show doesn't want to show the Rangers as the villains, but they don't have a problem showing the villains might have a position that's justified. It's only fair to give the other side that story. It would also give more power to the team to convince the world that they're there to protect them.
Emotional damage.
What would the Power Rangers themselves be going through? The show makes light of our heroes, but they do hundreds of things in one day. It wouldn't be all roses. It'd eventually start to eat at them. Constant worrying about death, stress everywhere, going to school would feel pointless, hiding this type of secret would be hard. This is for any superhero in general. It's a side that usually gets overlooked in Power Rangers. Some bits and pieces are brought up, but it should be more pronounced. It's one thing I really wish Overdrive had done with Will. Everyone makes fun of the Will quit memes, but they could have done something. He gets burned out and quits, and it takes the team to bring him back, or maybe the reverse, where he brings them back. There are many stories for Power Rangers left to tell. It is possible to show this side on the kids series. Spectacular Spider-Man is a perfect example.
Functional society.
The biggest problem of the Power Rangers universe is how the world has survived for 25 years of monster attacks. Looking at every season, every villain, they've attacked various cities and towns. Many ways worldwide disasters have occurred. Buildings destroyed, countless millions killed. Even the Rangers are a problem in that regard. Realistically, cities would be barren, homes abandoned. You have no idea where or when a monster will attack. People would leave and go into hiding. It would throw the world into insanity. Yeah, the Rangers save the world each week, but it wouldn't help. People would eventually turn on them. There would be too much turmoil to keep everything looking normal. There would also be more offensive attacks done from the planet. They would pillage any advantage they could get their hands on to fight back. To be brutally honest, SPD wouldn't have happened. People would be too scared and judgmental from most, if not all, aliens that came to Earth. Are they good people? Who is bad? The world would be a different place. Cities would be redesigned, similar to how Evangelion portrayed their universe, with places that can retract underground. Out of all the seasons, RPM is probably the closest we'd ever get in doing something realistic. They're trapped in one location, all the factions fight with each other every now and again. The Rangers are just tools. They don't usually care how they feel. The list would go on and on. While the Power Ranger universe realistically couldn't be done the way it's portrayed, that doesn't mean it's garbage. Everything out there has to have a suspension of disbelief. Certain exceptions have to be done. I could complain about all these things all day long, but I'm not going to quit over these holes. I would love if some of these issues would be done in the series. It would be interesting if Earth went against the Rangers. Cities would go underground, or Rangers would flat out quit. There's story potential in all these ideas, but some things have to be accepted. Being too realistic can be a detriment. Take example of Red Dead Redemption 2. It's an amazing game, but there are things I don't like because they went the realistic route. You have to find a good balance of this is okay, but this is not okay. What are your thoughts on the PR universe? Do you ever sit up at night and go, oh my god, no one got hurt from those floating feather bombs in Lightspeed Rescue? Screw that nonsense. Or do you let lots of this stuff slide? It's subjective. It's interesting to look at the series if it was done in real life. What is possible? What is not possible? Could there be a better way to tell the story? Maybe even have a joke or two at the expense of realism. New episodes every Monday. Next week, villains ranked by their military strength.